Hey everybody, I'm back finally with a new video. I want to talk about black mirrors. Black mirrors are a divination device, tool used since ancient times. One of the most well-known cultures that used black mirrors were the Aztec. They used them as divination devices. Particularly famous Obsidian mirror was owned by the last king of the Aztecs. Um, he used that mirror to see the falling of his empire. Actually, the story goes that a something like a fish or a seabird arrives with a black mirror in its forehead, and in that the king sees the fall of the Aztec Empire from people from the sea, and that did come to pass. So, also in the Aztec culture, the black mirror has a strong connection to the god Tezcatlipoca, which is one of the main gods of the Aztecs, along with Tonantzin, Our Lady. Um, so obsidian mirrors um, are very powerful and um, user-friendly divination devices, unlike certain other things like perhaps Ouija boards, which seem more or less to attract negative energy. Um, Perhaps because of the slow movement, it takes a lot of anxiety to see what the word will spell out. So the entity that will feed on that will probably not be the nicest entity. So black mirrors have a history in Europe as well. We know that the Spanish brought back many, many obsidian mirrors as trophies and tokens to Spain, and they were distributed throughout Europe as a sought after artifact. In fact, in the one of the British museums, um, John Dee's mirror, supposedly his mirror, which apparently is not actually his mirror. If you do some research on it, it seems doubtful that it was actually his mirror, but it is the black obsidian mirror from the Aztecs. Um, it just doesn't really match the description of any kind of device that he wrote about. So, um, another way that black mirrors have been made in Europe is actually to fill a bowl with a dark colored ink. This was used as a divination technique, just like the black mirror actually, and Nostradamus also used this technique. So there is a history of the black mirror in many places. I have never experienced something as easy to use as a black mirror when it comes to a divination technique. Actually, it makes the crystal ball seem very archaic and clumsy. The crispness of the images in the black mirror and the personal um, guide feeling that you get from it make it just such a powerful and easy to use tool. Obsidian is not just my favorite. Obsidian is also favored by many diviners, and it seems like once you go black, you never go back with these mirrors. The reason I like the black mirror so much is because the color absorbs light, so there's not glare coming off of the surface, yet it's reflective and it shows the ambient light around your environment in a really crisp way. So, how I use it is I normally don't have any kind of distinctive surface reflected into the mirror. It has to be something like a wall or a ceiling or something like that. And then you simply engage your desire. If you just stare into the mirror without any kind of interest, it will just look like a shiny object. But if you actually use some intent, it will show you a lot of things. In fact, when I first got mine, it actually showed me like a user manual, a series of symbols that communicated how it was to be used. For instance, it said it needed to be used as a tool, like a bicycle. You have to guide that tool. Also, just said different things. I remember it's written down somewhere. I probably got it. The black mirror also is fairly easy to obtain and make. Simply using spray paint and an old picture frame, you can make a beautiful black mirror. The reason I like Obsidian is because it has a very organic, alive feel. Its small size is kind of nice because it's portable. And it's an artifact. It's something like the ancient Aztecs used to use, so it's very similar to what they would have used. This is the one I use. So you can see how deeply dark it is. And the color of that darkness is actually different from even the black shirt that I'm wearing. You see how it's not even blue, like this is slightly blue because it's a very dark blue. But this is a pure black color, seems to be. One really interesting thing about the black mirror is that it's translucent, actually. If you shine a flashlight through the back, it lights up. You can see light coming through it. And according to Aztec shamans, it was a normal phase in the progression of technique of the black mirror to have it actually disappear in your hands and just have basically empty space where the mirror once was. And the litmus test for truly doing it well was if you could throw something through it. So apparently some people were not able to throw something through it and it bounced off the surface that was transparent. Some people later were able to get something through the mirror. So it's a very fascinating object, and it has a life of its own, really. They come in all different sizes. You can find them easily on the internet. So, some of the experiences that I have had with the Black Mirror are things like seeing people's emotion. If you think about somebody and you look into the mirror, you can see a color sometimes showing the mood that they're in, and a shape indicating how it affects you, how it's important to you. So, for instance, one time I saw a friend and he had pink plume coming out of his head from a distance. I was looking at him from a distance, like a remote view, very similar to that. But it wasn't really a remote view because it just appeared from the mirror. And it showed me that he wanted to see me that day. He wanted to see all of his friends that day. And it was really important for him to have that. So I made the effort and I went and saw him. And he was very happy about it. And he actually made the comment, "So glad you all came today." So the Black Mirror will show you things that are important for you. It'll also give you a reality check. It'll help you cognize things that you're perhaps blocking from your mind. Um, it's just a great tool. So um, Black Mirrors um, are definitely one of the better tools out there for anyone seeking to do divination. And I highly recommend you try using them. They can be applied to so many different kinds of mystical traditions, even Catholic traditions. For instance, I heard a story one time that St. Pio sent someone to look at a dark well after confession, and in it they saw the face of their dead, aborted child. So the use of a dark mirror is not evil, and it's universal, and it's just a tool. It's just a dark reflective surface that shows ambient light very well, and there's many different bands of ambient light. There's infrared, there's visible spectrum, there's ultraviolet. So that concludes this video. Thank you.